did I eat today? Cheese, eggs. I almost had a fruit meal, which would have been grapefruit and cream and honey, but I didn't have that. I got busy. Right now I'm eating lube formula with chicken and avocado. What else? Did I have any milk today? I had some milk in the early morning. Now, yeah, I got oysters and chicken and avocado and lube. So, yeah, it was kind of a light day. Just a lot of eggs and cheese. Sundays, it's not really a big eating day for me because I'm doing a lot of. I've taken on some more work, so I'm already busy. But just general housekeeping. It's kind of hard to do housekeeping. I don't know when you're trying to eat like that, I guess. So I was going through my clothes because I had to go to an event, and I was like, a lot of these pants don't fit me. They're probably never going to fit me again. So I threw away some older pants I found, which were like polyester. I thought I got rid of them, but I didn't. So I threw those away, and then I organized my pants from small to large, so I can coordinate and know where things are. Separated, pants and shirts, and short sleeves and long sleeves in both of my closets. And then I did some other laundry and cleaned my bathroom. Vacuumed because I eat here, and I do my oysters, so some shells get kind of, it's just shrapnel, collateral damage, really. So clean that up. What else did I do? Went to the store. So yeah, I just had eggs and cheese all day pretty much because it's just really easy to eat an egg because it's already in a vessel, and then you eat the cheese. And like I said, I thought about doing a little grapefruit and cream, but I'm like, I've been doing that every day pretty much. So I decided to give it a break today and just eat, the avocado, the chicken, the lube, the honey. I might make a milkshake later. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for like dessert. Of course, it's getting pretty late already, so we might just be doing milk. We'll see. So yeah, that's what I ate today. That's what I'm eating today. W Rage Bait on the server. Oh, thank you. Yeah, oh my gosh, I couldn't stand. I'm already kind of, I don't want to say I'm a misanthrope, but I'm definitely an introvert. Hold on, I'm going to. Yeah, I don't want to say I hate people, that I'm a misanthrope, but I definitely am an introvert. In the past, I've given people the benefit of the doubt. I've tried to, see good in them, and it's gotten me in trouble. It's unfortunate, but, I try to be positive, have a positive outlook, and because life is like a mirror. So, it's tough sometimes, but what are you going to do? But yeah, no, generally I don't like dealing with strangers on the internet. Yeah, a lot of people aren't dedicated to troll when they're paying for it, so that's kind of why I've moved towards the school. Of course I do this because it's basically the marketing. People who are looking for this kind of stuff come across my lives, so it's a good chance for them. Instead of just like looking through videos I've done, they can talk to me. So that's the thing. I'm sorry. How many hours do I sleep? Generally, if I'm sleeping well, I'm getting at least 7. So, last night, I had to do a lot of driving, and I got home late. I had to come home and do some work on the computer. Generally, when I go to bed like that, it's not good. It's not good. Even if I got these on, it's not good. So, I got some sleep. And, yeah. But it's the winter, right? And, I've got mice coming in. So I've got mice in my ceiling. And I don't know what the hell they were doing last night, but they were cruising just like everywhere for no reason. It was keeping me up. I can't do anything about it because I can't get into the ceiling to set a mouse trap or anything. I've chucked some poison bait up there in the past, but I don't know that did anything. I might do that again. I've done a perimeter scan, and I'm not sure how they're even getting in the house exactly. So, I'm in a bit of an older house, which I like, but I don't know. I'm really contemplating getting a cat, even though I don't really want a cat because it's a lot of responsibility. But I'm seriously considering just stealing one of the barn cats, one of the barn kittens at the farm I go to, and bringing it home and just letting it hunt. So, yeah, I sleep at least 7 hours. Like I said, last night was kind of rough. I generally sleep all the way through. If I drink too much liquids, I usually have to go to the bathroom sometimes. But yeah, generally 7 to 9 hours I like. I like sleeping. Best fruit to eat this time of year. What's in season? So just find out what's in season in winter. Generally, it's citrus fruits. I'm a big fan of grapefruit. Grapefruit's like my favorite fruit right now. And that's probably the fruit I'm eating the most. I really enjoy it. It's also beneficial because it's alkalizing, more so than other fruits. Well, figs, lemon, that sort of thing. But in general, it's very good. It's good for the bladder. It's good for the blood. So I am doing the grapefruit. Grapefruit, cream, and honey, or honeycomb if I have it. With the honeycomb, it's really good. I don't know what the difference is, but the honeycomb just makes it. Like, it's just so good. So that's what I'm doing right now. I guess apples, if, technically, they are high sugar, which I'm not a big fan of, but, apples and cheese is a pretty tasty snack. So I like that. I don't do that often, though. It's pretty rare. Maybe once a month I might have an apple. So, what do I think about the black pill? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, the term black pill, when it came out, it used to mean being totally negative and bleak, have the most bleak outlook on life in society and things. Now, I guess it's more of a looks maxing sort of deal. Like, it has to do with looks. Like, the black pill is, if you look a certain way, then life's easy, and if you don't, then life sucks, and that's kind of what the black pill means now. I mean, I think it's pretty dumb. Honestly. It's just a bunch of edgy, chronically online teenagers and who have low self-confidence because they don't do anything. And people taking advantage of that. That's why it's a thing. But you can't lose hope. You have to forge on. You know, life's never easy, especially if you're a man. And I'm not denying that. I'm not complaining about that either. It's just how it is. So, you just have to get good. If you don't get good, then, you know, it's over. So, but you just can't give up. It's only over when you give up. I talked about this in the most important stream. What was that, Saturday? Friday? Thursday? Don't even remember. Oh my God, this is a stupid oyster. Dude, come on. I don't know how those shuckers, those professional shuckers, they do that. I don't know how they do it so fast, so effortlessly. It's amazing. It's truly incredible. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah. Little ASMR action for you. So yeah, that's what I think about all that stuff. I think it's really cringe. The most cringe is the people who like promote it and try to get people to like take it seriously and be like, yeah, the black pill's real, so buy my course. Those are the worst people. Those are like scum. Those people are like literally scum. Like, yeah, buy my course, or, you know, watch my videos. Scum. If you could eat one food, what would you eat? If I could only eat one food, golly, I don't know. Perhaps fish, because I really like fish. I get sick of beef, I get sick of chicken, but I don't know if I could ever get sick of fish, honestly. So I would say fish. A second close one is milk, because I really love milk. Yeah. I'm gonna get into mackerel more, because I've my fish contact, the fish market, it kind of sucks now, and I'm was looking at like Giant Eagle and stuff, but that kind of sucks now. It's expensive. Like, they doubled the price of swordfish. So, not doing that anymore. Is that really it? No, I got one more here. So, whole mackerel at Whole Foods. They, I think it's $9 a pound. So I'd be able to buy a whole mackerel, just clean it myself. And, yeah, that'd be pretty cost effective, I think. So I'm going to be eating a lot of mackerel, because I like mackerel. And I never used to be able to find it fresh. So Not that it's like the worst frozen, but fresh meat tastes better all the time, always. So, you know, it's an easy thing. I do fish as a job, but it's not like eating fish. It's commercial fish. Aquarium fish. It's very niche. Hold on. Oh, yeah, and that's fishing with the seine, which is a net, a fancy, sturdy net for fishing. And yeah, so one grocery store. Oh, that's Whole Foods for sure. I mean, with the meat selection and the meat selection, air chilled chicken, plus the organic produce, the Gerolsteiner, you know, they've got it all there. I'm 21. Can I get taller? Yeah. Just do the diet. You know, fermented milk, cheese, honey, oysters. I'd also say some vegetable juice to make sure your blood is balanced and you're picking up free radicals, stimulating the appetite. Beef, and then fish, and then chicken. That's the priority. So make sure you stretch and exercise because you need to develop your bones and your muscles to support your posture. Like pull-ups are good, hanging upside down in an inversion table is good, making sure you have a strong core and LPHC. Those are all things you need to do. It's not just what you eat. Two likes, 5 views. Wow, that's great. Thank you. Spectacular. So it's not just food. And get your sleep too. You need to do all that. See, like my posture right now gets not good. But I do hang in an inversion table. I get up, I walk around, I stretch, I sit on the floor, so I've got, you know, like a good, what do they call that? I don't know. I can move my hips around on the floor, so I'm not just like sitting like in a chair. That's really bad. So gotta watch that. Is there a resource to find local raw meat eaters? Yeah, so I mean, we have a pretty active signal chat and things like with sane people. um, you know, it's not just a bunch of like go to cells. And yeah, there's there was one young lady on Instagram. She's out in Oklahoma. I don't know where, but there's some people out there. So I think Wes Rowe used to live in Oklahoma, but he moved to Texas, I think. So yeah, good place to try is your local Weston A. Price chapter. That's a good place to go and network. There's probably people who eat, or at least open to the idea of eating raw meat. Yeah, the sun's great. Get all the sun you can. And of course, minimize this stuff, which is what I don't do because I have to do things. But if you can't afford to have the time and do work that doesn't involve this, then do it. But I'm kind of, I wouldn't say I'm stuck, but I need the work I need to do. I need this stuff. And I'm not talking about the camera and the live streaming for this. I'm talking about like real stuff that is actually like more meaningful. So, yeah, I mean, just live healthy, eat a lot of fat if you want to get tall, if you want to get big. Do that. Of course, if you can't sunbathe, you can always get a job outside. And you're in the sun all day, and then you're working, you're exercising. That's good. I used to do that. I do that in the summer. And no matter like how much I was outside or whatever, like I always still had a little bit of acne. I mean, sure, my skin was better. My skin's okay now, but sometimes I get a little zit here or there. Like right here, I'm getting one. Normally, it's like back here, but that's my lymph system working and getting rid of stuff. And then my shoulders a little bit. Otherwise, I don't really have acne anywhere. On my chest, once in a while, like a couple times a year, I get a pimple or two. But yeah, the sun's important, but sometimes stuff just happens because it just. I mean, it really is a detox. Stuff does come out of your skin. Like I've gotten rashes all of a sudden. I get like a rash here every once in a while, and it itches really bad. And I'll put grapefruit on it, and then it like dries up, and then I peel it off, the skin just peels off. So a lot of weird stuff like that, you know, coming out of your skin. Some people are like, oh, if you have acne, it's, it's your, I don't know, your cells or whatever. It's like, oh, your cells are bad, and it's not detox, but it's not true. These skin conditions are definitely related to detoxifications. So, I mean, the first time I ate moldy berries, I had, and I haven't had anything like this since. I wasn't really documenting my stuff either yet. I wish I would have thought to do it, but I ate these moldy berries, and I got these like really painful zits on my arm, and it took them like 2 weeks to come to a head, but they were really like hard and painful. And eventually I popped them, and like it was like really thick, hard, like pus came out in 2 spots in my left shoulder, which is always where I would get my, my shots. And I always thought that was really interesting. And I've never had anything like that since then. It only happened to me one time in this very specific spot. So, for all the people who are like, yeah, it's not detox. If you have acne, you're not healthy. I don't know, man. I don't think that's right. I also think people will have different pathways for detoxification, So some people do it with different things in different ways. Some people it's through the skin. Sometimes it isn't. So, but just saying, like, yeah, being outside in the sun is great. It's very good for you. But I don't know. I don't get why people are so stressed about acne. Like, oh, I have a little bit of acne. Oh, no. It's like, so what? Like, don't worry about it. It's just a little acne, a little pimple here and there. Who cares? I mean, some people got it really bad, don't get me wrong, but like it eventually just goes away. I don't know. Maybe that's because I had like terrible leprosy level skin condition when I was a kid. So, I mean, for me, just to not have that is a pretty good baseline. And maybe that's why I don't really understand, because like a lot of people get into this health space and they've never had any problems. They just are like, yeah, I'm healthy and I'm just eating this way because it's cool, and because I look healthy and I eat this way, people will buy my course from me, even though I've only been doing this for like a year. It's like, okay, whatever, but okay. What stories of stuff that happened on this diet? I don't know. What stories of stuff? I mean, a lot of things. Alpha gal syndrome, I think that's all fake news. Acne scars. Yeah, I mean, the pineapple, the facial cream, the olive oil. Olive oil is good for getting rid of scar tissue. You'd have to massage it in pretty regularly. They'll get like a smooth stone and just like rub the skin with the olive oil. That's what I would do. Or that's what I've heard people do. The pineapple. I have some other suggestions in my school, but like I said, I do gatekeep, but I do give a fair amount of information out there. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before, but I don't know, in case I didn't. I mean, you can go look for it, give me the watch time or something, but I'm just not here to give everything away for free. I'm not here to give the whole house away for free, you know what I'm saying? So, but those 3 things should definitely do it. It's pretty easy, The pineapple literally eats away your skin, so like it'll do it. Apple cider vinegar, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it isn't just a question of dissolving them either. You need the fats too. People who have always had relatively good health will never understand what it's like to be chronic ill. Yeah, or like if they were vegan and then they started eating this way, it's like, well, I mean, it's like you weren't really sick. You were just vegan, you know? Like you didn't have insomnia, you don't have tinnitus, you didn't have debilitating eczema, you know, you didn't have something like Tourette's or astigmatism. You didn't have, I don't know, endometriosis. You didn't have, which is, I mean, a woman-only thing. So I'm just trying to, you know, give examples for both sides, you know. So, and then it's like it's really simple. It's just like you eat raw meat and you get healthier. And people are like, yeah, like you do my diet, you do my program. It's like you're just telling people to eat raw meat. And not even like all the time. And you don't need to eat it all the time to feel better. You're just telling people to cut out garbage and eat some raw meat. And they get better. Yeah. Okay. It's crazy. Or you tell people like this circadian rhythm stuff. People get so complicated about it. It's so easy. If you want to optimize your circadian rhythm, you wake up with the sun. And then you go to bed when the sun goes down, basically. In like one sentence, that's how you fix your circadian rhythm and health. Yeah, you go to bed when the sun sets, and you wake up, you get your ass out of bed when it rises. It's that simple. And people give you all this mumbo jumbo and jargon so you think they're so smart. For like an hour, it's like, no, wake up when the sun rises, go to bed when the sun sets or shortly thereafter, and avoid all the bad EMFs in artificial light, especially at night, but even during the day too, just to be safe. That's it. That's the circadian health thing. I gave you the entire circadian health thing. People, there's thousands of hours of this content, people explaining it, and I just told you the entire secrets on how to do it in 3 minutes. Actually, I told it to you like 3 different times in 3 minutes. And people eat it up, man. People eat it up. It's crazy. Yeah, go to bed. Go to bed on time and wake up when the sun rises. Oh my gosh, that's revolutionary. Go outside and get sun. No one's ever said that before. Oh my gosh. Don't be around, you know, Wi-Fi and cell phone towers and smart meters in your cell phone. Oh my gosh, like no one's ever literally said that before. It's so scientifically complex and amazing. Wow, you're a genius. Wow. It's ridiculous. Am I against grains and vegetables? Not really. I don't really care. Like, here's the thing. I don't care, like, what you do. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you eat. I don't care what you don't do. I don't care, man. If you want to eat grains and vegetables, go ahead. Me personally, I don't really eat grains. I like pasta. I like bread, but I don't eat it. Makes me feel bad. I have a pasta recipe. I tried it a year ago. A year ago? No, it was more like 7, 8 months ago. It was yummy. Didn't make me feel good. I bought a bag of pasta. I only used like 20% of it, which was 10% too much. I should have eaten half. And, yeah. But I mean, you know, cooked starches, part of the diet. Circumstantial. Vegetable juice is part of the diet. Salads, twice a week or so, part of the diet, if you need it. I understand. Like, people that get taller and grow their bones and grow their higher back, you know. Okay? I think the worst one is extreme brain fog. To fix extreme brain fog, just eat eggs. Only eggs. You feel like you have dementia. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's been times when I've been detoxing and I've been ill, where I felt like I had dementia, like my mind wasn't working well. It's kind of scary. People that explain the signs of the sun, like get on your body and go to bed, like goes down no shit. Yep. I went on the Primal diet Reddit for the first time. It was pretty entertaining. Saw some of your comments there. Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. There's like a lot of people who are in the, the GOATist camp who make it that way because I think it's more active. But then there's people who are generally interested in the autogenous stuff, and you know, people for the most part tend to be pretty on point. But there's a lot of people who are not. There's some salt people, some plasma people, supplement people, people who do cooked foods. But in general, yeah, it's people who are interested in eating raw meat, which is good. So it's pretty chill. Do you know how much airplane mode helps for EMF? Yeah, airplane mode helps a lot actually because what's happening with your phone, it's constantly pinging a tower. So your phone is constantly sending signals and receiving signals from cell phone towers. That's the radiation concern. Now, if you put your phone in airplane mode and you turn off the Wi-Fi, you greatly reduce the RF. Now, it's still going to have some EF. It's still going to have a little bit of electric field, but it's not going to be, super dangerous. It's not going to be... It's still not good to like operate, for a long time, but which I do. Don't get me wrong. I read things on my phone all the time, especially manga. I read manga. I put my phone on airplane mode, and I use Wi-Fi. So, not the best, but it reduces the effects. So, that's what I do. But yeah, airplane mode, definitely if you're carrying it on you, airplane mode that shit and keep it locked down to airplane mode. If you need to check your phone, turn it off airplane mode. Wait a couple minutes, let the messages come in, or to take a phone call. Yeah, do that. Or if you're scheduling a phone call, yep, there are people like that who go on about raw meat being dangerous. It's pretty funny. Can you explain this plasma? Is it just salt? Yeah, it's just a bunch of salt, like an exorbitant amount of salt in water. It's not good for you, especially in big amounts. I've seen people, yeah, like some people do it and they just do like a little bit, but it's obviously not as bad if you're just doing a little bit. But I don't like salt. I never liked eating salt. So pretty easy for me to not mess with it. I think some people have a gravitation towards it because they don't do the vegetable juice, and they have an endocrine problem. Why do they call it plasma? I don't know. Something to do with the blood. I live near a cell phone tower. Yeah, that's tough, man. They do have some type of paints that block EMF. This might interfere with your cell phone signal. Yeah, just try to get outside as much as you can. Well, I guess outside away from the tower. So I live about a mile away from a cell phone tower, but when I go to bed, I sleep in the basement for this exact reason. So, and not just like for the cell phone tower, but also Wi-Fi and things, other electrical stuff. Like I sleep better in the basement. So, you know, I sleep at the other end of the house in the basement because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to mess with the other. Plus, you've got the street lights, car lights, neighbors got floodlights, all LED. It's a mess. So, the basement, it's darker, it's cooler, and it's more insulated from that kind of stuff. So, that's what I do. That's what I would do. And, eating stuff like avocados are good, I think, for radiation and putting a little clay in your diet. Like clay in your milk, clay in your vegetable juice. That can be good. Check what other stuff Autogenous runs. I mean, essentially just a lot of fats is going to be important for you. A lot of fats. Salt gives me migraines. Yeah, salt gives me headache too. Cold, pitch black room with comfy bedding. Yes. Absolutely. Yep. I might I like 70% blocked out my window because the neighbors have a floodlight, security or whatever. But I yeah, I might just do it all 100%. We'll see. Spain. Yeah, there's people in Spain on the diet for sure. So, I'm not exactly sure how to get in contact with them. Um, but yeah, there's people in Spain. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of people who, you know, try to give out this info. They use AI to write like their own guides, which is really just kind of a waste of time to read because you can just read Autogenous's books. And one of the things, no, never mind, not that, but um, one of the other things is, like I've been doing this for 8 years, so I'm commenting my lived experience, and you can see me. There's no tricks. Like yeah, my hair's thinning a little bit. Honestly, I think my hair started going downhill when I had insomnia. I wasn't able to sleep, and I wasn't eating red meat. I think this accelerated my hair loss. Um, it's not like rapidly declining. Based on what I see, I should have my hair mostly for another 10 years. So, I'll be an old man in 10 years, basically. So, whatever. I'm not really into having long hair either, keeping a haircut. I buzz my hair quite often, like I grow my hair out, I buzz it down. Because then it's like, neat, professional, clean. Having long hair, I've had long hair before. It's a nuisance. And I would never grow my hair out again like that, I don't think, personally. So, anyway. "100% darkness." Nice. Yeah, you're inspiring me, Carlisle. I'm going to block out the other window tonight. I've got the tape right here, I think. It's painter's tape, but it should do the job. Yeah, I see it over there. So, yeah. I'm the only person with this much time on the diet who's been making this much content this long. True, no frills, no tricks. Just real. I'm the only person to do that. Honestly, a lot of people don't stick on the diet for very long. They either will switch back to like regular food, they'll start doing plasma, they'll do other stuff, but I'm still on it. No plasma. I don't do drugs like some people. Some people do promote that. Psychonutrients, they call them. That's not good. And yeah, it is what it is. I have energy. I'm capable. My eyes are changing, I think. The comments seem to indicate that to be the case. So we'll see what happens in another 5 to 7 years. I don't know. I've tried to eat cooked foods in the past for holidays several years ago, 4 years ago, whenever. Well, actually, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And my stomach just couldn't do it. My bowels just couldn't really do it. It was too dry and hard and large and just unpleasant. So I don't know if I could ever go back to not eating this way, honestly. The iridologist I saw said it's a good thing I'm on this diet because I don't digest cooked foods well, which makes sense because I can never gain weight on a regular food diet before this, even though I was eating healthier. I would eat like a starch, a vegetable, and a meat, and some hard-boiled eggs for dinner. That's what I would eat mostly. Kimchi, canned fish, baked fish, chicken, beef, burgers. I'd eat ice cream, a pretty fair amount of ice cream, to try to gain weight and for a sweet treat, but it never worked. A lot of Asian food. Loved Asian food. Japanese and Thai food, followed by Chinese food. Hot dogs occasionally, chili cheese dogs, your steak sandwiches, that sort of thing. Like a mix of healthy fare for dinner. It was mostly always healthy for dinner. But for lunch, it was easy to get, 2 for $5 chili cheese dogs. Made with, Vienna beef, good stuff. Local place. Very tasty. I miss that. Or a cheesesteak or a gyro, I eat stuff like that, but I wasn't eating like a lot of McDonald's or Taco Bell. The garbage. But yeah, I still couldn't gain weight. No matter how much like rice and chicken I tried to eat, it didn't work. So just pin the curtains to the wall. Yeah, no, I don't really want to go out and buy curtains. I have a lot of cardboard boxes. Not a lot, but I have like 2 laying around here. So I'm just going to tape them up over the window. It's easier. Salt does dry you out, yes. Bone growth. Yes, I actually just talked about it at the beginning of the live. I do have a video about bone mass. I do explain it a little bit more. Deep blue gray. According to Ogenus, no. I'm not an iridologist, so I'm not going to tell you yes or no. I'm not an iridologist. Ogenus would have said probably not, because they should be all blue according to him, or no shades of blue. Well, thanks, Julio. Yeah, I try the best. You want to support the channel, just like and share the lives of my videos. Give me the watch time. So. Yeah. Good night. Good night, Julio. Buenos noches, amigo. What's up, chat? What's going on? Well, what's up, chat? Wow, dude. He wished me a good stream and then everybody left. That's crazy. Thanks for the likes, though. Caught a cold 2 days after quitting salt. Coincidence? Probably not. Probably not, because when you stop flooding the body with stuff like that, your body will start to get rid of it, and it can also start healing and doing other things. If you're polluting your body, it's going to not be able to really detox efficiently. So but depending on what your symptoms of a cold are, white meat is recommended with loops and milkshakes, a smoothie. I think the orange smoothies work the best. Depending on your symptoms, sometimes I like the beet juice, celery and beet juice. Taking a bath is always good. So yeah. Hmm. Do I believe in saunas? They have their drawbacks, obviously. But I mean, if you're sweating, it's still going to help your body. So I mean, sweating's good, but there's more cons in a sauna setting. So I don't know if I would try to do a sauna. Maybe someday. I don't know. I'm just not really. I don't have a. There's no sauna culture here in America, really. I mean, that's just something that's really happened in the past 3 or 4 years, and usually it's infrared saunas, which are the worst. The steam saunas are not great because they, if they're using tap water, it's just you're breathing in tap steam. Not good. A dry sauna, I mean, I like being warm. I like taking a bath. So, you know. But do I believe in them? Not, not like you're asking. Like, do I believe in doing them? Personally, me, no. Some people do. Sweating helps. That's a fact. So it's just about like what's the trade-off, what's the drawbacks, what's your goal. Oh my gosh, I have so much work to do. It's crazy. Okay. Yeah, so guys, yeah, I've just recently picked up a lot of work, like I said, so I'm multitasking here. Chat's kind of quiet, so I'm kind of quiet. As we all know, as you all should know, this is a very interactive type of stream without the chat interaction. Unless I go off on some, dropping some uncle wisdom and knowledge. You can expect that maybe like a few times a month tops, honestly. Otherwise, I would just be getting redundant. But, yeah, it's a very interactive sort of deal. So, that's what's going on. But I just have things to do. thanks for hanging out. 3 viewers. I appreciate it. Getting that view time duration. This is pretty slow for a Saturday. A Sunday night. Sunday's usually pretty poppin', but maybe it's just something in the air. That Randall cycle video, though. I had this guy who was always asking me about Randall cycle video. I finally make one. I finally put it out, and I don't hear anything from him. Nothing in the live stream. Oh, thanks for doing that. It's a thankless job. What are you going to do? So, there'll probably come a time where I just stop making videos. Because, the busier I get, I just won't be able to justify it. And I'm also just running out of things. The only consistent thing I could see on this channel would be doing the annual reports and promoting the conference. So slow chat. Yeah. Well, sorry I didn't have anything interesting to talk about, but I'm working on more important things. So, but like I said, I'm here if you have questions. Mm-hmm. should rename this the nothing stream because nothing is going on. Maybe I'll do that. I forgot to turn the dual stream on. I think that's also why there is not a lot of people. The dual stream was really bringing in some people. Good to know. Good motivation to turn it back on. Keep it on. Hmm. 5 viewers, 6 likes. I've been silent forever. That's crazy. Well, thank you guys. Even though nothing is really happening, I don't know. It's, you know, the chat's open. Chat's here for you. I'm not gonna. It's, you know, interactive, like I said. So I have other things to do. So I'm trying to do those and wait for your inputs. Honestly, if you just want to keep the screen on and give me watch time, that's great too. I don't mind. And likes, you know, that's great. It's a good way to get back to the channel, you know. I'm basically giving back to people by doing this, and Yeah, I do a buzz cut. It's efficient, it's easy. You can do it yourself and save money. You don't have to necessarily keep it up as a hairstyle because your hair will grow out in the same proportions. Um, so yeah, I like the buzz cut. I'm a fan of the buzz cut. Def. If you let your hair get long, it's annoying to maintain. You get it wet, it takes forever to dry. You have to use a lot of eggs or whatever it is you use in your hair to clean it. You have to pull it back. All kinds of stuff. It's annoying. But yeah. Some people say they feel different. What feels different for me is I'm less stressed out because I don't have to deal with long hair every day. Combing it. All this stuff. It's annoying, dude. No thanks. I say this as someone who's had long hair several times in my life. What, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've had shoulder length hair 5 times in my life. So for me, it takes about 1.5 years to get down to here. And then like down to my shoulders will take another 4 or 5 months. So, I think when I stopped going to high school, I stopped cutting my hair. And then I didn't cut my hair for like 2 years. And then I buzzed it all off. No, it might have been 3 years. I don't remember. Early 20s, And then I grew it out again. And through college, I didn't cut my hair. And then I moved to Asia. I had long hair when I was in Nepal. When I went to Thailand, I cut it all off because it was too hot. I cut all my hair off. And then I kept it short for a few years. And then I grew it out again in 2020. I grew out my hair again, and then I cut it. I grew it out again the next year. And then I just cut it. I've been cutting it kind of every 6 months or so since then. So, yeah. I do need some new trimmers because they're old. They're like almost 20 years old. Clippers. It just isn't vibrating enough. I don't know if it's the springs or whatever, but I tried to tighten them with the screws, but I don't know. It's just old. So, I don't know. We'll see. As long as my hair is short, it should be okay. It's cutting through the long hair that's pretty hard for an older pair of clippers. So, but yeah, you get a trimmer, you can take care of your own hair pretty much for the next 20 years. No problem. It's easy. Your hair dries fast. No one can pull your hair in a self-defense situation. Easy to maintain. It just makes life easier, You don't have to comb it. So yeah, having long hair kind of sucks, in my opinion. It's just too much extra work for like no reason. It's like I'm just having long hair to make more work for myself. So that's how I feel about it. But I mean, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. But as someone who's had long hair and short hair and medium hair, I've had every type of hair. That's what I think. That's my experience, and that's why I keep my hair this way. RJ with the heat. Love it. It's great. Your messages always amuse me in a good way. I laugh at them. Sometimes I laugh at them. Sometimes I'm blown away by their wisdom. You've never made a dumb comment on here, RJ. They're always fire. They're always fire. Yes. The salt thing seemed to divide like it's a sin. I don't really hold it against people for eating salt, but I will say personally for me, because like I've said before, I think it comes down to body type and, an endocrine thing is why people crave the salt. I don't crave salt. I've never really liked salt or salty foods. I do better without salt. I stay away from it. So, and I'm fine. People doing the plasma, they do it for all these reasons. It doesn't stop their hair loss. They might have some other benefits, but it doesn't solve all their problems. So, I don't I'm not really inclined to try salt because I know it doesn't agree with my system. So I'm not doing plasma. But I don't have anything against people who I'm not a hyper religious person when it comes to this diet. I disagree with Ogenus on stuff. I don't think he's a god. I don't think he's infallible. I don't I don't hold it against people because they eat a certain way or they eat a different way. Now, if someone is promoting something, no one's above criticism. I mean, I'm not above criticism. And I always try to delineate my opinions where they differ with Ogenus and the primal diet. But sometimes I'm not, it's sloppy. I'm not perfect, a lot of people take the frozen meat thing out of context because personally, I don't think it's toxic. I mean, frozen meat does create lipid peroxides, which is not good. But I think calling it toxic is a stretch, pesticides are toxic. Okay. The lactic acid in degreasers and sanitizers they use on meat and in meat processing facilities is toxic. That gets on the meat. That is toxic. Okay. So frozen meat that's grass-fed and it doesn't have any chemicals on it or in it, is that really toxic? No, I don't think so. Ogenus's experiments need to be replicated, number one. Number two, lack of detail in their findings, in their control variables. For instance, if I recall, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe he fed chicken to these dogs, and they got mange. Listen, I've known 3 dogs that get mange because they eat fresh chicken. So, fresh raw chicken. Dogs eating fresh raw chicken and they get mange. So there's something in poultry that doesn't agree with dogs. Some breeds, some types of dogs. And dogs need different types of meat just like humans. So, you know, would the dogs have gotten mange if you fed them fresh chicken anyway? What was the history of the dogs? What was their health history? What was their environment? You see, a lot of variables that Augenus doesn't mention about he's just like, oh, I fed these dogs frozen meat and they got, mange, and that's why frozen meat is toxic. It's like, yeah, it's not going to be as healing for sure, but is it toxic? I think that's a stretch. Does that mean that I promote frozen meat? Does that mean that I would say frozen meat is more healing? No, fresh meat is more healing. Fresh meat tastes better, okay? I've always said that. That's always been my stance. So, but just things like that. Like, Augenus's LSD thing. People use that as an excuse to take drugs or psychonutrients, as they call them. Very stupid. Drugs are bad. It's not good to take that stuff. It is toxic. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for your mental fortitude. So, it's another thing I disagree with Augenus on. I'm sure there's other things I could, come up with if I thought about it for long enough. But I just know off the top of my head that, yeah, I don't agree with everything, and that's okay. Like, I'm not Augenus, so I say this all the time. Darko Velchik has a blog where he explains the source of current disease. Okay. You are not going to do an interview with other raw meat eaters? I don't know. I've never had anybody reach out to me about doing an interview, at least for a while. I mean, I did the last one with Eggman Leo. Leo's a good guy. I like talking with him. And, yeah. I don't know. I think the Augenus primal diet has kind of fallen out of fashion. And I think that's why people aren't interested in talking to people like me. Also, I'm a little critical of, Goddess, who a lot of this newer crop of people seem to worship. And they don't like that. They don't want me, they really wouldn't want me on their interview talking bad about the guy they worship. So, yeah, that's the other thing. So, I mean, because a lot of these people, they're not doing the full diet. Like, they're eating cooked foods. I've seen them taking pictures of them eating, like, baked chicken. Which, I mean, yeah, it's on the diet, but it's like, come on. Like, you want to say you're part of this raw stuff, but you're eating cooked chicken. They're not eating the diet very long. It's like they eat the diet for, like, a year, and then they act like they've been doing it all their lives, and they use AI to make all their content, their scripts, their information, because they don't have any lived experience and wisdom to delineate and tell you, like me. Like, I've been doing these 8 years. I can just tell you the things I've done, the things I haven't done, what's made a difference, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what I wish I did earlier, what I wish I stopped doing earlier. So, like, I just know all that from my experience. I don't need to, copy and paste Augenus AI, Augenus.net into ChatGPT and make a video out of it. That's so stupid. But there's a lot of people who do that, and they scam you. Like, yeah, buy my coaching, $200, $300. Let me read your irises and tell you there's heavy metals in your brain, even though you don't need to look at your irises to tell you that. And then you're not going to tell them how to fix it or what kind of metals are in the brain. It's just scammers, man. It's just kids. It's just, I mean, look at it this way. You kind of deserve to get scammed if you're going to pay a kid $300 about nutrition. You deserve to get scammed because you're not very smart. You need to learn your lesson. But really, at the end of the day, yeah, if you eat raw meat, you're going to get better. And that's all they're going to tell you, and you don't need to pay them to tell you that. So, like, I tell you that here for free. But maybe people want to be embarrassed and to have their to waste their money, I guess. Why would frozen meat be bad? In nature, you can find frozen meat in winter. Well, there's an issue of water-soluble vitamins and such in meat. That changes when they're frozen because they freeze. The meat and the fat. You also have the enzymes, and something happens to the bacteria when you freeze meat. It changes the bacteria, so they become a little more detoxifying. Is it just me, or has Primal content sucked on Instagram for over a year now? Yeah, well, I mean, it's all very redundant. It's all very redundant and silly. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's people trying to be GOATus, and it's people copying Ogenus and using AI. It's just the same stuff. And it's most of these people, like I said, most of these people are fakes, and they're scammers. So their content isn't genuine. So genuine content isn't interesting. Doesn't matter what your field is. So that's why it sucks. Frozen meat is simply the cheapest way to conserve meat unless you dry the meat. It's true. GOATus is a criminal, allegedly. Yeah, he's just a toxic person too. He sits online all day and like makes fun of people. He's just a lol cow. It's pretty cringe, I mean, no one's above criticism or whatever, and you can criticize people, especially if they're putting, videos up. People criticize me all the time. It's whatever. But, just his content, it's very negative. It's very negative, and, yeah, it's not good. So, modern chicken from the store is toxic. No, it's not partially better cooked. It's still worse cooked. It's always better raw. And honestly, there aren't that many more toxins in chicken than beef at the store. There actually could be less toxins in chicken if it's air chilled. Beef cannot be air chilled in processing. Chicken can be air chilled, so they don't spray chemicals on it. So there are less toxins on chicken. Didn't you do an interview on Excellent Health? Is that your only interview? If yes, it's not my only interview. Beyond Terrain talked to me. There were some others, I forget. But yeah, Excellent Health. He became very anti-Ogenus, and now he's Mr. Cruz Jr. Yeah, I did do an interview on Excellent Health. People think it's pretty funny because, like, I look a lot fatter than I was because I was using a cell phone camera. I just woke up. I literally just woke up 15 minutes before it started, and I have the cell phone camera like tilted up, so it's like my gut is looking even bigger. And I don't remember that time of my life too much because I had insomnia. I don't know if that's when I had insomnia. I can't remember. Literally can't remember. But yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it. I'm honestly not that interested. But yeah. Yeah, I wasn't eating enough red meat either. So. But yeah, that was a pretty funny interview. Because I'm just yawning all the time. I just woke up. That probably didn't make him too happy. Oh well. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that kind of stuff, Silhouette Sith. Chicken doesn't make me as hyped up as red meat. Yeah, it's true, it won't. Chicken's chill. Chicken's chill. Red meat definitely gives you energy in a good way. I like it. I fluctuate. I'll either do like a week of white meat and a week of red meat, or I'll do like half and half. I think I'm going to go to the store tomorrow to Whole Foods and buy a mackerel. Maybe, actually, I have to do a bunch of running around, so. Uh, Does avocado turn meat into fuel even if you are eating butter as well? I don't know. I know avocado is good for the liver, and you don't digest half of it, according to Ogenus. And he says it's not good to eat avocado like every day with the meat, but it can be beneficial 2 to 3 times a week for that liver support. I actually ate some avocado this evening. That's why I've been doing the avocado to help with the liver. And to just get some, I've kind of been craving it in a way, so I've been doing a little more avocado. Like I said, I eat 1 avocado a week. I just do it twice a week. I do half an avocado in my meat meals with any type of meat, honestly. But I don't know if I wouldn't say it turns the meat into fuel, because avocado is not, it's a fruit, right? But it's not a sweet fruit. And it's got a lot of fat in it for like a fruit. So I think it's just something the body uses to help clean out the liver. I don't know that it turns the meat into the fuel. So I could be wrong, but that's my hunch. Like, I just had chicken, lube, and avocado. So I think avocado is good to eat. Not a lot, but it's helpful for the liver. And I don't think it would turn. I think it's a sugar thing, because Ajna said small amounts of tomato and cucumber are okay with meat, as opposed to something like an orange or an apple, a banana, a mango. And again, you have the pineapple and the papaya as well. If you eat pineapple and papaya, does that turn the meat into fuel or not, because of the enzymes in it? So I would say no to the avocado, but again, I could be wrong. Chicken was frozen. I got sick from eating raw chicken at the store. Yeah. Yeah, cooking the eggs. Some people do that. Yeah. So olive oil is more detoxifying. If you're gonna eat the olive oil with the meats, it's gonna be more detoxifying. I remember I was going through a phase where I ate a bunch of pork and sour cream and with olive oil, and man, I had the worst. I just would get the worst gas. I drank like a liter of olive oil in, I think, 2 weeks. I was eating a ton of olive oil on my meat, and it was like really bad. It was like really extreme farts. So the olive oil was doing something, because I haven't had gas like that since then. But I don't know. I don't really understand when like meat into fuel versus building. I eat meat. I don't notice a difference. Right. Yeah, and tomato, I don't know about as much tomato because it is alkalizing, so I wouldn't want to eat too much tomato with meat. But I do eat a fair bit of tomato. I make the sweet salsa that I have a recipe for. It's just apple cider vinegar and honey with onions and tomato, and I just let that sit for a couple days. It's better to let it sit for more than 3 days because it really, but the tomatoes, they get really tangy and sweet, and it's really tasty to eat with beef. But I did that last summer. I ate a lot of that. Didn't make too much of that this summer, but yeah. So I don't know. I've never really felt like eating meat, it being fueling versus eating meat versus it being building. I don't know. I eat meat and I feel the same every time. So whether it's with butter, with olive oil, or alone, sometimes I eat it alone. I don't know. So, but definitely the avocado helps clean out the liver. It's got to do something because of the fats. Like the body's going to use the fats in a certain way. And that's like escalar fish. Someone mentioned escalar the other day, and escalar has specific oils in it as a fish, and those oils are more detoxifying. They're prone to detox you because of whatever the oils are in the escalar that aren't in other fish. I do not eat any cooked food at all. No cooked fruits. None. Technically, air-popped popcorn is a cooked fruit, but I haven't tried that yet. That would be good, though. Air-popped popcorn with cheddar. Air-popped popcorn with apple cider vinegar. Air-popped popcorn with honey. A little black pepper. Maybe some chili powder. Dry some chilies, grind them up. Make some chili powder and honey on the popcorn. You can get really creative. And a bunch of butter, you can get really creative with popcorn. It's weird because he says tomato is the most alkalizing fruit, but I also believe he says it's acidic when eaten with meat. Yeah, no. Well, tomato itself is acidic. It's just like the pineapple. The properties of the tomato and the pineapple are acidic. They do break things down. But when you process it, the effects it has on the body are alkalizing. Did Ogenus talk about escalar? I've actually never heard him say that. I just know that because I used to eat a lot of escalar as sushi because it was very cheap. Did he talk about it? I don't see anything in Ogenus.net. Oh, escalar. Oh, I see. Yeah, he talks about it once. 2002. Heavy in oil. Yeah, it is heavy in oil. Yeah, it's true. Wow, crazy. I didn't even know he talked about that until now. That was just the assertion I made from eating it. I guess my intuition and instincts are pretty good if I arrived at that same conclusion. Why do you think primitives paid fortunes for spices in the past? Probably because they didn't have refrigeration, and to make food taste good or better, rotten food, they would use spices. That's why. Yeah, I think salt was probably just expensive because it was useful and there were uses for it. So it's like this, you like smoking tobacco isn't healthy, but tobacco is very prized, right? So maybe you just farm tobacco to sell it and have it because it keeps well and you can sell it, but you don't use it. You know what I mean? Mm. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying, that they're traded. You know, these things have value because they're diminutive, they diminish. So, like, a pot of spices, you can divvy that up and it keeps its form, it doesn't go bad. If people want it, they'll trade for it, they'll pay money for it. That's why, I think, you know. But like I said, too, like, you think about there's no refrigeration, so if you're cooking something or trying to eat something, okay, look, nobody here thinks rotten meat tastes good. Can we just all agree on that? Rotten meat doesn't taste good, right? So if you have meat that's rotting and turning, what do? You load it up with a bunch of spices to make it palatable, whether you're eating it raw or cooking it. Is it better to not dry age meat? Yes. Fresh meat is better. Dry aging it is not as good. It may not be possible to get it fresh like that because they will hang the whole cow for a couple weeks in the cooler to get rid of the gamey taste. That's what they tell you. So when you go to the butcher, your meat's already 2 weeks old, no matter where you go, unless you go into somewhere that's like immediate processing same day. But there's not a lot of that. So, yeah, fresh meat is always better. The fresher, the better. Well, predators only go for rotten meat when not other choice. I guess, man, but are you going to go for rotten meat? I'm not. Yeah. And not all predators only go for rotten meat. Sharks don't eat rotten meat. Whales don't eat rotten meat. Um, yeah, there's plenty of places that go fresh. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have anything like that here. I've never actually seen that. But I'm not surprised that something like that happens, you know. Yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, I'm not saying they don't, but they don't only eat rotten meat. I mean, they eat fresh meat too. They hunt. So, that's my point is yeah, they eat rotten meat, but they also eat fresh meat. It's not like they exclusively eat rotten meat, you know? So, yeah, whale's a big animal. It takes a while. Yeah, no, I'm not, like I said, yeah, I'm not saying predators never eat rotten meat. I'm just saying they hunt for fresh meat too. So, that's what I meant. I like to buy in bulk, so I have to freeze. Yeah. Um, the thing is, though, if you're buying in bulk and you can get your meat freshly slaughtered, your meat will be good for 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. So you may not have to freeze it depending on how often you buy meat. Sure. Yeah, in some ways, I mean, we'll never really know how the world used to be because they covered it up. So. Yeah, I mean, of course, there was more, there was more wildlife and things, but who knows? Lost technologies and such. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Yes, raw milk is needed. Raw fats and raw milk. Um, your cheese, your butter, fish, bone marrow would be good. So, yes, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. The Romans had pretty good cement. I mean, still standing. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, give me a sec. I gotta send these emails. Reply. Okay. Well, the walls, and I don't know about the stone walls, but the buildings they built use cement, a type of special cement. Am I stupid for talking about sun gazing at noon? No, you're not. But yeah, the self-curing cement. You're not stupid for talking about it. You're maybe a little silly for doing it directly looking at the sun. Not something I recommend with the naked eye. So, just saying. Revolt. If I ferment raw milk for the first time and drink it and it gives me some diarrhea right after, does that mean I did it wrong? No, that's just detox. That's just detox. Your body's getting used to it. Don't worry about it. If it keeps happening, dairy might not be for you, but generally fermented foods are a little more detoxifying because they could grow a little mold in there that you might not be able to see. So yeah, I like, for instance, I only drink fermented dairy now pretty much 90% of the time, and I have no problems. When I first started, even with just regular dairy, I had some bowel discomfort, but it went away. It got better. So, but for some people, it doesn't, and maybe you don't need that. You don't need the dairy. So yeah. So anyway, um, all right. Cutting it. Good night. Thank you.